Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe, and I want to say thank you all for being here, part of the show today. So, listen, today we're going to take a look at some crazy stuff happening in the space of crypto. Some hackers have stolen a significant amount of money, and how they're kind of doing it. And then we're going to take a look at some stuff with Saylor. Very interesting news around that one. Then we're going to take a look at what's still going on in spite of everyone's disbelief around the crypto space. People are still buying Bitcoin, believe it or not. And then we're going to touch on some stuff on the housing market towards the end of the show. But if you don't mind, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Click the little subscribe button and then hit the bell so you know when I go live. I do try to go live every day at 12:30. Doesn't always work out, be right on time. I try very hard to be, but it doesn't always end up being that way. Sometimes there's crazy stuff going on, but either way, it's approximately that time. If you are also new to the show and you like the content here, check out the Patreon. It's linked in the description of the video and scroll on the bottom of the screen there. I would love it if you guys and gals joined that. It's only $5, but it's where I take the gloves off. It's where I talk about stuff that this channel banned. I already had to rework the plumbing twice, so the reason that is set up that way is so that way if you're subscribed there, you'll end up getting to uh, know whenever I do other videos, or you can get a hold of me. Some of you have asked me to look at a few things, which has been very, very nice. And then you have access to communicate directly with me there. It also has a private Telegram channel. So if you're part of that, I greatly appreciate it. Anyhow, I do thank you all for being part of the show. We're going to have some fun today. So let's jump right in to the content, shall we? So Bitcoin's price is definitely up this morning, which is fantastic. Just slightly, a little bit. Looking at the day chart here, it looks like it's attempting to kind of try to break itself out a little bit, nice and gently. It's kind of what I think we want to see gently up here at this point. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500 are also ticking up today as the correlation between the two still takes place. By the way, throw it out in the chat. What are y'all drinking today? I am drinking a latte today. My amazing, wonderful bride decided to make me this and some really cool stuff. Very, very good stuff. Sorry. Good old coffee. I absolutely love it. Different for today. Just felt different today. Gold, silver are doing their thing. We've got Divi, which is ticking in a general direction down right now. Just along with everything else. You've got Ethereum and then Matic here that are looking interesting. Axie is also looking very interesting as well. So pay attention to these guys and gals. They are going to be an interesting run here when we get things going. Now, mortgage rates. We talk about mortgage rates here on for sure. The reason we do this is because the housing market is the bedrock of the economy, because it is the debt-based system and it is the biggest purchasing, if you will, for the most part, for the individuals. And as these prices fluctuate, we will start to see things change in the market, which is very, very interesting when it comes to how the prices correlate with the interest rates. Houses are still selling, but it's taking a lot longer. Home sellers are willing to you pay for closing now, taking more time to get to closing, and pricing's coming down. You know, we had Economic Ninja on yesterday, which was a fantastic conversation. Very, very grateful for that. If you didn't see that video, go back to yesterday's video, watch it. It is definitely worth a watch there. Share that one out on your socials because it is very valuable information around the market. He's very smart. Go check out his show, his YouTube channel. Great content. Usually it's quick little informational videos. He's fantastic what he does. Absolutely love that guy. He's great, great, great. So I'm very, very, very blessed to have him on there. So we're gonna shift over into some unfortunate news here, but it is part of life right now. Hackers drained nearly $200 million from the crypto startup in a free-for-all attack. Hackers yanked almost $200 million in crypto from Nomad, a so-called blockchain bridge. So Nomad is a blockchain bridge. I don't know if they're on here on CoinMarketCap or not. We'll see. Nomad. Nomad Land, I guess this is the ticker. Interesting. Let's see. That did that fall off a cliff? No. Is that? I may not have the right one. Nomad Land. Let's see what happens here. Welcome to Nomad Land. Nope, that's not it. I guess it's a game. Let's go over here. Nomad. Neo Nomad. I don't know. I guess it's not there. Let's look this up. Nomad Crypto Bridge. Let's see here. Doobie. Where is it at? Did they pull their website down? I could see them doing that. Doobie. There it is. Yeah, attention, white hat hacker friends. Interesting. Return ETH or ERC20. Did they? That's interesting. Please return Ethereum to this guy. How much is in here? 240,000. Huh. Interesting. I hadn't looked at this yet. You're looking at this with me live. Anyways, okay. So for what it's worth, when you have a white hat hacker, typically that is a penetration tester. For the most part. Or it is somebody trying to find the security vulnerabilities within a network or within a business or whatever. I used to do that stuff. So in this particular instance, either they're trying to make it out so that this whole thing was part of an exercise and they're asking for it to be returned, or I don't know. That's interesting. That is interesting because I'll tell you right now, I've looked at stuff like this in the past, like this stuff. That's interesting. I don't know what to think about this now. So we're going to kind of, on the fly, take some stuff here. So they yanked almost $200 million for crypto in crypto from Nomad, a so-called blockchain bridge. Blockchain bridges allow users to transfer tokens from one network to another. They've become a prime target for hackers seeking to swindle investors out of millions. This is true. This is why when you're doing your bridges, you have to be very, very careful and trusting the platforms behind it. I highly recommend doing your research on the bridge before you're ever using it, okay? Or one that is very widely known. You can use a decentralized exchange, which a lot of people will refer to them as bridges, but they operate similarly, but they still look at a floating price, right? A bridge says, "Hey, this is how much I'll sell it to you for. This is how many you'll get," kind of thing. So they are different. At least from my point of view, they are. Someone out there in the chat, they may disagree, and that's fine. I would love to have a conversation and hear why. Maybe there's something I don't know about it that they may know. So anyhow, I'm 100% willing to learn on that. I want to learn. The moment you stop learning, the moment that you think you know everything is the moment you fail in life. Okay, you got to be humble and be willing to learn from anyone, even someone who has less experience in different things than you. The reason being is because a fresh set of eyes a lot of times shows things that you just never saw because you're so used to the status quo or so used to the way it's being done, and you get complacent. So you've always got to pay attention to every bit of information about any type of subject and be willing to learn. Be humble enough to sit there and say, I don't know it all, and that's okay. Which I try very, very hard to be. I'm 100% willing to learn as long as you show me how, show me where, show me what. Anyhow, let's continue on here. So the hackers drained almost 200 million in cryptocurrency from Nomad, a tool that lets users swap tokens from one blockchain to another, and yet another attack highlighting weaknesses in the decentralized finance space. There are significant weaknesses in these spaces. If in fact their whole white hat thing, the little message there, if that was them trying to prove a point, trying to find a hole, great. I highly doubt that is the case, though, unfortunately. Just off the top of my head, there's not a lot of money back in there. Now I did see another article where hackers returned $9 million back. but I don't know. I don't know if that's in fact true or not. So we'll see. The fact that that did happen and they've got the white hat message up there, it kind of makes me go, okay, is it going to all be returned? If it all gets returned, then this is just a publicity stunt, maybe, or they're actually trying to figure out if there are holes in there. I don't know. We are aware of the incident involving the Nomad token bridge, the startup said. We are currently investigating and will provide updates when we have them. It's not entirely clear how the attack occurred or was orchestrated, or if Nomad plans to reimburse users with lost tokens in the attack. The company, which markets itself as a secure, something just moved on my. Where did it go? I tell you what, some of these things, websites are just not built like. Anyways, okay, let's back here. It's not entirely. They market itself as a secure cross-chain messaging service. Wasn't immediately available for comment to when contacted by CNBC. Blockchain security experts described the exploit as a free-for-all. Anyone with knowledge of the exploit and how it worked could seize on the flaw and withdraw an amount of tokens from Nomad, sort of like a cash machine spewing out money at the at the tap of a button. Not really. It's not how this stuff. It's not how this stuff works. It started with an upgrade to Nomad's code. One part of the code was marked as valid whenever users decided to initiate a transfer, which allowed thieves to withdraw more assets than were deposited into the platform. Once other attackers cottoned on what was going on, they deployed armies of bots to carry out copycat attacks. Without prior programming experience, any user could simply copy the original attacker's transaction, call data, and substitute the address with theirs and exploit the protocol. And Victor Yang, founder of and chief architect of crypto startup Analog. It's actually not impossible to do that. You have to make sure your code is ironclad before you do anything like that. This goes back to the whole reason I put the title on the image for the today's show. Not your keys, not your coins. Do your research before you touch this stuff, okay? People have been burned by all these different platforms recently. A lot of them have just snowballed. A lot of them are just innocent bystanders getting hammered because of one specific thing. There's a lot of rumors going around as to who and what and why. There's people saying that there's ties to BlackRock somehow or to Citadel. I don't know if any of that's true, but there are some significant players, whether it's people like that or not, or institutions like that or not. There are significant players getting out into the markets here, and they're manipulating the pricing and whatnot in the directions that they're trying to go, trying to get it to go, and they're trying to collect as many as they can. Here's the deal, all right? Soon, unfortunately, there's going to be a great drop in general on the market pricing on everything. Okay, everything is going to collapse. There's too much inflation. They just printed too much money. I really do think that housing is going to collapse, and then part of that is going to be worse. Like Economic Ninja was saying, it's going to be worse than 2008. The reason being is because in 2008 we didn't have a debt crisis like we do now. It was partially that, but not like it is now. It never stopped. They just repackaged it, put some icing and lipstick on it, and then kicked it on its way. Look, that never stopped. And now we have enter 2020, 2021, and now most of 2022, better part of 2022. Federal Reserve has printed more money in these past couple of years than the entire existence of the Federal Reserve. There's no physical way for this economy to keep up. The weight of that is just too much. So it's all going to collapse. Bitcoin may go down. Like Robert Kiyosaki's calling for Bitcoin to be $1,100. I don't know if that's going to happen. Realistically, I highly doubt it'll do that. If it does, it'll be a quick. because it'll be there will be such buying pressure that it will not last but a few seconds, if it does at all. All right, because people will be rushing out of the stock market and into cryptocurrencies. They will be. It's just how it's going to. And what happens then is those big boys with the millions and even billions of dollars that will be sitting there at those different price points. You go look at the order books, see where they are, see where the big purchases are. This is where they think it's going to happen. It might, but those orders will get filled quick, and when they do, there will be no there will be no liquidity after that. And when that happens, Bitcoin's price is effectively there's no telling where it's going to go. But please, 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 I'm pleading with you. Get your coins off the exchanges, or you won't be able to. When you use stuff like bridges, be very careful. Be mindful of who you're dealing with, what's going on inside of the platforms. I try not to personally use a bridge. If I want a token on another one, I will just buy it on that side. Okay? Always have dry powder ready to go. You know, you spend your dry powder, great, fantastic. Rebuild, get more. Stuff like that. You got to be mindful of these things and be very careful. And just, if you are not holding them yourselves, trust who's holding them. Okay. I've mentioned many times to you guys and gals in the past, if you prefer the traditional style of custodianship, you've seen Celsius recently, you've seen these other places that have had Voyager, Three O's Capital, all these other places have been hit by the domino effect of Luna. Okay. Just understand, please understand, that there are very few, but there are actual custodian companies out there. Viva Capital is one of them. Okay. What's more about Viva is they offer dollar for dollar insurance for a fraction of the cost of what you're holding with them. So if anything happened, you're still made whole. Okay. They're not playing around. They also don't trade your stuff like Celsius does or like these other platforms. They give it to other people or they put it in a pool. They try to make money off of it. No, you put your stuff in there. That's yours. It's your account. That's it. Just like the bank. It's yours. It's there. It's done. But it's all crypto. They have stuff with 401ks, IRAs. They help with mint, with adjusting all that stuff. There's just a lot of stuff they offer. Okay. Definitely worth that if that's your thing. Personally, I hold my own stuff. I highly recommend you guys and gals hold your own stuff. And if you need help doing that, schedule some time with me. Master Blockchain Consulting. It's on the script. It's in the description of the video as well. If you don't know how, and you want to learn, that's why that's there. Okay, check it out. It's definitely worth it. So, fun, interesting news here. Michael Saylor steps down as MicroStrategy's CEO. He's been the longest technological company CEO running that I know of. Company takes a $917 million charge in Bitcoin. Ooh. Sorry, just finishing that down. MicroStrategies announced Tuesday its founder and CEO, Michael Saylor, will step down from the top job and take a new position as executive chairman, focused on the company's Bitcoin strategy. The company's president will take over. I guess it's Fyong Lee. I guess that's how you say that. The company's president will take over as the CEO role. MicroStrategy reported quarterly results were light of Wall Street estimates on Tuesday, with revenue coming in at $122.1 million against expectations for $126 million. Losses in the quarter totaled $918 million, with a $917.8 million attributable to the company's Bitcoin holdings. So basically, did he step down? I don't know. Did he get fired? I don't know. In a statement, MicroStrategy, when you're the founder or the CEO, I don't think you can be fired. Just saying. I mean, you're the one who created the company, and if you hold the primary shares, it's your company. In a statement, MicroStrategy said Saylor will focus primarily on innovation and long-term corporate strategy, while continuing to provide oversight of the company's Bitcoin acquisition strategy. As executive chairman, I will be able to focus more on our Bitcoin acquisition strategy and related Bitcoin advocacy initiatives. While Fyong, I guess is how you say his name, Pong Fyong, will be empowered as CEO to manage overall corporate operations, Saylor said in a statement. Sounds like he was being spread too thin. I don't know, y'all. Do you come up with your own thing? I wonder if it's just that he may be. MicroStrategy has their own stuff, okay, and as CEO, he had to take care of that stuff. But Q Bitcoin and the other stuff, he wanted to also focus on that. So splitting your time, as I know, as a lot of you know, it's not exactly easy to do. Splitting your time makes things difficult, and balls get dropped and things like that. So this to me sounds like he wants to focus on their cryptocurrency, blockchain, maybe even that kind of stuff. I've mentioned to him on Twitter and other things, hey, you're leaving money on the table. This is blockchain technology. Bitcoin doesn't exist without blockchain technology, and blockchain technology is the companies and future of technology and business. Maybe they'll go start their own blockchain. Maybe they'll go start their own stuff. Maybe they'll offer a new type of role. I don't know, a new type of technology for customers and companies and whatnot alike to obtain. But Yahoo Finance would like you to think that it's more of a, it's because of the Bitcoin position and it's been down and whatnot. All these other articles you'll see others. He got fired. He stepped down because they lost money. Blah 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 blah. All because of Bitcoin. No, nope. I think it's because he wants to focus on something else now. So this is an interesting little article here. New optimistic buyers flock to Bitcoin. Holders who have accumulated Bitcoin over the past 6 months aren't liquidating their positions despite relative or unrealized losses, suggesting conviction in the asset. A much awaited recovery rally has occurred for Bitcoin prices over a month of consolidation around $20,000. Interestingly, this coincides with the previous cycle peak in 2017. Yep, it kind of does. If you haven't been paying attention, look at the on-chain data. Go to Glassnode. Is that what it is? Glassnode? Yeah, Glassnode. I did it right. Glassnode.com. Check it out. It is indeed worth paying attention to for the on-chain data. On-chain data is very much so more important than the data on the markets. This stuff, these are exchanges. Okay, these are not, in my opinion, this information is no. On-chain data in Glassnode is very much so more important. Short-term momentum remains favorable, while long-term macro indicators suggest a firmer foundation may take time. Bitcoin's 66% decline from its all-time high has largely evicted speculators, leaving only whales and those who were those with strong convictions to hold. Yep. However, a recent trend has seen short-term holders flock to the $20,000 region, while ownership is being transferred from capitulating sellers to more optimistic buyers. Capitulation is a big deal, which a lot of the miners capitulated. Okay. At the same time, holders who have accumulated coins over the past 6 months refuse to liquidate their positions despite heavy unrealized losses, suggesting that they are sensitive to market fluctuations. They are less sensitive to market fluctuations. Excuse me. That or they're waiting for themselves to get back in the green. There's that as well. This is important in my opinion. The reason this is important in my opinion is, well, people buying Bitcoin and holding on to it, no matter what the price is, realize its value, that it's a means of exchange, that it's a store of value, a digital store of value that is a lot of the same aspects as gold and silver. And over time, it will prove, as it already has, to hold that value and to increase in value. Your purchasing power is being stolen from you. The high inflation of the US dollar, the printing never stopped. It still hasn't stopped. It's still going on. They're giving how many trillions of dollars did they give to Ukraine? Just on a whim. How many trillions of dollars were printed for the hunger disease relief? I get it. I actually wonder if the former administration tried to kill the beast, the creature from Jekyll Island. You know, that beast. Some of you guys and gals have gotten back to me and said you've read that book. I love it. If you haven't read it, highly recommend it. The reason I highly recommend it is because it will turn your mentality on banking and the world on its head. And that's not a bad thing because it shows. Let me ask this. If you're walking through life and someone says, hey, things aren't what they seem, does that make you stop and go, well, what do you mean? Or does that make you go, hey, you're crazy? If you stop and say, well, what do you mean? And someone says, here, read this book. And then you go look, you read that book, and then you go do your research on subjects in that book, and you go, holy cow, this is going on right under my nose. And all you got is like your headlamp on, and you're walking in the dark, and you got a headlamp on, and you're just walking, you're taking your next step, and you can see kind of a little bit in front of you, et cetera, et cetera. You look around and whatnot, you can see what's going on. When someone hands you that book or says, hey, things aren't what they seem, they hand you that book, that's like they turn the light on in the room, and you don't need your headlamp anymore, and you can see what's going on. Check it out. Some of you have also gotten back to me about how you've watched Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money. Fantastic stuff. Thank you for going and doing that. It will help you educate yourself and other people. Now you can go and talk to other people and explain what's going on. It's important for people to pay attention to what's going on because this kind of stuff, the housing market takes an unexpected turn. The Federal Reserve has a simple inflation fighting playbook. It goes like this. Keep applying upward pressure on interest rates until businesses and consumer spending across the economy weakens and inflation recedes. How does that actually good? Because it's not. Jangito, thanks for being part of, or Jackito, excuse me, thanks for being part of the show here. What book is that? It's called The Creature from Jekyll Island. And thanks for joining the show. And towards the end of the show, I'm going to say hey to everyone in the live chat. So if you don't mind, I'd love to see who's watching. So pop in there and say hey, at least say hi. I would love that. Thank you. And then there is a video series called, to answer your question, go to asterblockchainconsulting.com. Go over to resources. This link to this website is linked in the video description and scrolling on the bottom of the screen. All the way down to what I call Required Education, The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney. I have his permission to have it on my website. I did ask first, just making sure. So I highly recommend you go check that out. Very good stuff. It's not taught in schools. Kids can understand it. It's fantastic. Yeah, if you're watching live, do me a favor and pop in and at least say hey. I want to see who's here. It's fantastic stuff. So, historically speaking, the Fed's inflation fighting playbook always delivers a particularly hard hit to the U.S. housing market. When it comes to housing transactions, monthly payments are everything, which is not entirely how you need to pay attention to it, but it is what it is. Because people have to budget on a monthly basis because we get sometimes 2-3 paychecks a month. Sometimes people get, more than that, whatever. Anyhow, when mortgage rates spike, which happens as soon as the Fed goes after inflation, these payments spike for new borrowers. That explains why as soon as mortgage rates rose this spring, the housing market slipped into a housing cool down. But that housing correction could soon lose some steam. Over the past week, mortgage rates have declined fast. As of Tuesday, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate sits at 5.05%, down from June when the mortgage rates spiked to at 6.28%. This falling mortgage rate gives sidelined home buyers immediate relief. 1% is approximately $100,000 of buying power. Just to put it to perspective for you, it's not even 1%. But every percentage point that goes up, somebody with an average salary loses about $100,000 of buying power. So if they could afford a $600,000 house, well, now they can afford a $500,000 house, et cetera, et cetera. Does it make sense? So if it's coming down, then they can add the 100,000 back there. Anyhow, those 4 mortgage rates gives. I already read that. If borrow in June took out $500,000 mortgage at 6.28% rate, they'd pay around $3,000 a month, $3,100 a month, closer to that, rounding up. Monthly in principal and interest, not including the insurance or anything in the escrow. So it's about $3,600 a month. At a 505 rate, that payment would just be $2,699, so $2,700. Over the course of the year, that's a savings of $140,000. What's going on? As weakening economy data rolls in, financial markets are pricing in a 2023 recession. That's putting downward pressure on mortgage rates. The bond market, which is huge, please pay attention to the bond market. If you are not paying attention to the bond market, it is huge. That's bigger than anything ever. Is pricing in a high probability of a recession next year, and that the downturn will prompt the Fed to reverse course and cut federal funds rates. Mark Zandi, chief economist of Moody's Analytics, tells Fortune, while the Fed doesn't directly set mortgage rates, its policies do impact how financial markets price both the 10-year Treasury yield and mortgage rates. They correlate, by the way. So if you want to see if the 10-year, pay attention to that. They correlate. In expectation of the rising federal funds rate, the monetary tightening financial markets increase both the 10-year Treasury yield and mortgage rates. So as they go up, they both go up. In expectation of the reduced federal fund rate, the monetary easing financial markets price down both the 10-year Treasury and mortgage rates. This latter is what we're seeing in the financial markets. Yep. You want to say over here? Go over here and grab that. Wink. It's down a wee bit. Let's go to and I'm going to flip back over here. Hang on. I'm going to go over here, push these buttons. I want to show you something. Stand by. I'm sorry. Thank you for your patience. Let's see if this works. Let's go over here and click that button. Hold on. There it goes. Let's go over here to this guy. Go over that. Let's go over to, I think this is it. Yeah. So I don't know what numbers they're talking about, but I'm showing 5.44 on the conforming loans. This is the intercontinental exchange numbers for that. I don't know. I don't know what they're looking at, but I'm showing 5.44. It's still even above this. I don't think we've seen the last of the rate hikes. Just saying. The prices of the homes haven't come down enough. All right, let's check through the chat here. If you are watching live, please comment. I would love to say hi to you. If you have any questions, throw them out there, and I will take the opportunity at this point to attempt to answer those questions. And if you've gotten to this point, you like what you see, you want more, check out the Patreon. Scroll on the bottom screen right here, and it is linked in the description of the video. That is where I like to take the gloves off, and when appropriate, have interviews with people in there. I have done the past 2 out here because they are, it makes more sense to do those types of conversations with this one. As I'm able to have the other types of conversations, those interviews will go into the Patreon. and you will not see them out here. Maybe. It's really hard to say. Depends on what the subjects are, right? Anyhow, jump in there. It's definitely worth it. It does support the channel, so I do appreciate it very much. Thank you. We've got Maker13. What is going on? I appreciate you being part of the show, and you are first today. I love it. Got Tom in the house. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you joining and being part of the show. We've got Eva White. Thanks for being here. It is fantastic to have you guys in here with the show. We've got who else we got here? We got Crypto Disposition. What is going on? Thanks for being here. Let's see who we got here. Bitcoin Bull, what's up? Not your blockchain ballot. Maybe not your vote. Good morning, all. What's up, brother? Appreciate it, man. Let's see here. Onto my coffee maker for some Sumatra. I love it. Fantastic. I haven't had Sumatra in a while. Who else we got here? We got Kim. How you doing today? I appreciate being part of the show. Carrie, what's up? How you doing? I love it that you're part of the show here. I have to rewind the episode, but I'll continue and then go back to watch because I have my IRA and Gemini, and I'm in Gemini and I'm freaking out right now. Reach out to I forget who it was. I'm just brain farting. Sorry. Hopefully it works out, Carrie. Let me know if you need anything. Steven, what's going on? Thanks for being here today. We've got Johnny Holder in the house. What's going on? Thanks for being part of the show. We've got Fatty's Bar. Good morning. How are you doing? Appreciate being here. Open Monday Bitcoin. What's up, brother? Thanks for jumping in for sure. Let's see. We got Jacinto. I think that's how you say it. Thanks for being here. And that was the creature from Jekyll Island. Thanks for popping that in there. We've got Lamp Ladder. What's going on? Thanks for being part of the show. And we've got Joe. How you doing, brother? I appreciate you being here today. We got Bitcoin in the Matrix. What's up, brother? Appreciate you being here today. We've got Truth Kicker 333. Thanks for joining and being part of the show. I love it. I love it. Bond yields are inverted. 2-year yield is greater than the 10-year and the 30-year. I believe mortgage rates are more correlates to the 30-year than the Fed rate. Interesting. Appreciate you being part of that, man. Thanks for throwing that up there. Well, I love it. Yep. Crypto Disposition. That's right. Viva Capital. Yes, indeed. All right, guys and gals. I got to jump. Y'all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Oh, real quick. I will not have a Patreon show this afternoon. I have some other stuff that with work that is cut into me being able to do that. So do apologize, but won't be doing that today. So tomorrow should be normal. I'll let you know if that changes. My management is in town right now, and they're trying to do all these face-to-face meetings and whatnot. So they're throwing stuff on my calendar like, hey, yeah, you gotta come in the office. I'm like, okay. So yeah, fun stuff. Anyways, thanks for being part of the show, and we will talk to you all later. Take it easy. If I can click the right button, if it'll work. All right, see y'all.